So you're live. The intro video is playing now, and you'll be ready in 15 seconds.
Okay.
In like 5 seconds now. You're live.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Futurefeat Live. And okay, so today, as we all know, is 1st of October, which is a very special day for us as Nigerians. And I want to say happy independence to each and every one of us out there. Nigeria is 65 years old today, and we know that Nigeria will definitely become great one day. And so we are back to our live sessions, and today with me we have a very, very great personality, an awesome guest. And well, for now, I'm just going to allow her relax, and we all should just hang on while we take this one step at a time. We are going to get to know her and know the work she does out there. I mean, she is very, very awesome. You would really want to meet with her for real. And today, our topic for discussion is actually going to be why the maker culture is important in improving how kids learn. Now, if you remember, we are future fit, and one of the things that matters to us is how children are able to learn. Learning not just by reciting, but basically by doing with their hands, where we teach them how to create new things, exciting things, which helps to actually build their confidence as they grow. And this afternoon, just like the last session we had, is going to be a blast. It's going to be an interesting one. And please, I would want to tell you that if you are here already, go and call your friend, call your brother, your sister, those teachers we have out there. Please call them and tag them to this. Let them also come so we enjoy this time together. Now, why are we taking this topic of discussion on a day like this? Number one is this is Teachers Week, right? And we know that education is very, very important to us all. And this is something that is here to help with the changes that we are experiencing, even in our country. Nigeria is 65 today. I think this year we had an overhaul of our curriculum, which is something that is geared towards what we do at Future Fit, which is basically bringing in more practicals and hands-on learning for our kids in their conventional schools and even at home. Now, knowledge moves faster than textbooks, and I want to believe that you agree with me on that. Because in fact, I noticed some teachers have been asking, okay, so there's an update on the curriculum, but they don't have access to the materials they are going to use to implement this change, and all of those things. So we know that the most important thing is having the knowledge. And when we are able to put this knowledge into perspective, really bringing it down to practicing it with our hands, it helps to give children skills that will set them apart. Things like being creative, it builds resilience in them and help them with real problem solving skills, not just consuming what has been made, but actually also learning to make. So we are not going to spend too much time waiting. We are going to actually see where Future Fit comes in helping these things happen. So for instance, in our own makerspace, we help kids to learn by creating fun things. And these things are not just prototypes that they could just work on and then keep without real world application. We had some smart projects that our kids got to do over time. And last month, we rounded up our creators camp with a creators makeathon. And I promise you, if you were not there, you actually missed a lot because these children made awesome stuff. We watched them found solutions to problems. Yes, Some of them had their components missing one thing or the other, and they were able to pinpoint where the problem was and also look for solution to help. I watched how one of the kids went to bring up another laptop to help support the one they were using because it wasn't actually giving them what they needed. And no one told them that. If you had watched it, it will feel like, oh no, these children were told to do this, but no, we were all amazed. And that is because of the effort we have put in during the camp while training them. And they learned that, yes, when they meet a challenge, they don't just sit back and wait for someone to help them fix it, but they rise to the challenge also and try to find alternatives on what to do. And I tell you that when you meet with our kids, you know that yes, they have had an experience, and that is what we are here for today. So, if you are already joining us, if you are on the live stream, please, I want you to just drop your favorite emoji and say hi. Just tell us where you are joining in from. Yeah, please, we would love to know where all our people are coming in from. So please just drop a comment in the session and tell us where you are joining in from. So right now we're going to introduce our guests, and like I told you, it is going to be an awesome time because this person is loaded. She has with experience, her wealth of knowledge. I mean, you cannot just measure it. When you spend time with her, you will want to have more time with her. And I'm honored to welcome someone who has led classrooms, who has led schools through change. When I say change, I mean positive and impactful change, change that you can see and measure. And she is a principal who understands both policy and practices. Now, I'm going to give this time to her to actually tell us who she is and share with us a little about her journey over the years in the education sector. Yes, over to you, ma'am.
Good day, everyone. My name is Folorunsho Jumoke, Principal Founders High School Jos. Happy Independence to everyone. It's a beautiful morning for Nigeria, 65th anniversary, and that is one of the reasons why we are here to make our input and our impact in Nigeria, especially in the education sector. Just like I said earlier, I'm Folorunsho Jumoke. I'm a science educator, and I've been in the classroom for 26 years counting. I've worked with kids of various ages, various backgrounds, various social ethnic group, and we have come on board to share our experience, how we can raise them to be better citizens of the country. You're welcome. Happy to meet everyone online. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Please, I mean, a round of applause for her. You have heard what she has done and what she is still doing. And together, we are going to enjoy from this world of knowledge. And I am the host of this live, Tamimianuhu, and we are here to share with you what Futurefeat is about, what we love about education, and how we are coming in to help and make education better, even in our own country. So, to begin, just to yes, we are talking about the maker culture and how it is important in improving the way our kids learn. Ma'am, please, can you just help us share a little about what maker culture means? Because it seems people out there are not really sure of what that is. And so we are having a hard time putting these things into perspective and then acting upon it. So if you could just help us with that, please.
All right, maker culture is actually emphasizing on creating a form of habits in our young ones, older people too, on how to do things by themselves, how to learn by doing, hands-on experience, how to repair, modify, and look for bringing different components together to make something valuable in your environment and making it a daily affair, not uh, just using it, but being also a part of producing it.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So I believe we all got that from her. It is not just about using what has been, it is also creating things from what you have, making something, editing, and making just some changes that we can to what we have around. So for an everyday person, it is just putting your hands on materials that you have around you to create things. Now, I know that a lot of people are afraid of this word and then the whole idea because they don't really understand. And people feel the moment you mention this, it means their accounts will shake. They are going to need to buy very expensive kits. They need to build a big tech lab to be able to achieve that. But from what our guest here has said, you know that it is beyond that. It is something that we can do even with the little that we have. So, well, back to what we have. Now, we have been able to describe what maker culture is. And so, one other thing is we are talking about bringing maker culture into improving how our kids learn. So, coming from a perspective of school, right? Not just parents, but sometimes teachers worry that this maker activity is going to like reduce the speed at which they are going to cover their syllables, and they may not be able to finish up what they are supposed to within a term or the school session. Please, what do you have to say about that? Does one tilting towards maker culture mean that the whole curriculum is going to be changed completely or things are just going to be shaky?
Thank you very much, Tammy. Um, there are three different ways through which knowledge can be passed. There are several ways, but three major ways. Through seeing, we call it visual learning. Through hearing, we call it auditory learning. And also learning by doing. Every syllabus that has been established for learning for all types of subjects have what we call student activities. The student activities are not supposed to be theoretical. The student activities are supposed to be practical. Call the subject name. Name any subject. Name any topic in each of the subjects. There is a part of it from curriculum planners which we call student activity. So I don't want Nigerian teachers or Nigerian parents to focus on covering syllabus without the aspect of learning by doing.
Yeah.
Or else, we'll still go back to what we've been doing before, running to cover syllabus, and by the time you test the children, I tell you, scale 1 to 10, the syllabus you have covered, they've not even understood up to 3 or 4 parts of it.
Yeah.
So there shouldn't be, and in fact, parents should be worried that the learning aspects by doing is not covered in syllabus than covering the syllabus by itself.
Thank you very much for that. And from just that last phrase you made, parents should be more worried about not, they shouldn't be worried about covering syllables, but having the children understand or putting up the practical in itself. It is very, very important that it is not just going to be, oh, they're able to just recite and then that is it. Outside the classroom, is the child able to think for himself and apply that knowledge that he or she has gained from the class? Very, very important. Thank you for that. Now, we know that Nigerian goal in education at least from what we have seen this year, is that they want to encourage skills and practical learning. And unfortunately, most of our classroom spaces are geared towards exams. Let's just do this to write exams and then pass. Now, what are those small practical steps you think schools can take to introduce the elements of making or maker culture without heavy investments? Because I know the government will not just come and push money to you directly to say, oh, take, this is what you need. Many schools are complaining that, oh, there's lack of infrastructure to actually push with the new curriculum that we have. So, ma'am, please, what are those small practical steps any school can take at all to introduce these elements into their education without much stress?
Thank you, Tammy. I'm someone that's one of the things that have made me to be in the classroom up till today with joy, not endurance, is the innovation that comes with teaching. The innovation that comes with teaching. And my background, my first degree, I studied physics, science, and then I did my postgraduate diploma where I was privileged to understand education psychology, education philosophy, and teaching methods and the rest of it. I remember some time ago, many years back, where one of the places I've worked, we went to buy equipment for sciences. And then when we got there, you would touch something, they will call it such a big amount. And you'll be asking yourself, how many of these instruments do you want the school to provide? One of it was what we call gold leaf electroscope. Gold leaf electroscope is an instrument that is used to test charges. It can be used to produce charges. And a little content of gold leaf, a little bottle of it, they were calling like 35,000 per one. And then how many learners do you have?
Yeah.
And then when I looked at it, I asked myself, for me to buy this at 35,000, for maybe to buy 10 or 15 pieces of it, I will collect the 35,000 from my employer and use it to buy things that we can use to make it. So the first time I did it in class, several years back, we got a bottle of Parma or a bottle of jam. We got what we call foil paper.
Wow.
You can use a foil paper, the one you use to wrap cake, the silver color.
Yes.
You can actually also use a paper, the paper that we have in cigarette packs, that gold paper. We brought it out. And then we used iron from anger, this iron anger. We use it, we call it, and we produced a beautiful gold leaf electroscope. And when I did it, after that, I grouped the children and then they should go and provide it. For many schools that I've taught, I think I've left more than 20, 25 bottles of gold leaf electroscope.
Wow.
Also, we have what we call a calorimeter. A calorimeter is just a simple device that it's used to build a thermoflask. A thermoflask is the flasks that we put hot water in, those big flasks.
Yes.
That our mothers take around when they give birth to children, or when you want to go and visit somebody in the hospital. So we call it a calorimeter. You look at it very well. We studied the material, what is being used for. We got some materials. We got cotton wool. And then we built it. We looked at the principle of how to reduce heat losses. And then we built it. And then I tell you, even the exam that everyone is rushing to write, if you have the privilege to look at WAEC questions of recent 5, 6, 7, 8 years of WAEC questions, look at for physics especially, you will see some certain questions in it. They will say describe, and then they will talk about gold leaf electroscope, describe, they will mention devices. And all what they want is, they don't just want students to just give them the theoretical knowledge about the device. They want them to express in-depth knowledge. And some of these devices that children actually build, the way they will express themselves. Many times when we mark like that, and by the time we look at the examiner's report, we discover that very few, less than 60% of students attempted that question, and those who attempted it couldn't do it well because the question was generated out of the understanding of the exam bodies that teachers will have made children to have engagement in producing these devices. And when the search is not done, even the exam that we are rushing to cover syllabus, for the children will not be able to, answer it well or do very well in it.
Sure. Thank you so much for that. Yes, for those of us just joining us now, we are back here on our live Future Feed stream. And the topic we are covering for today is why the maker culture is important in improving how kids learn. And with me today, we have Mrs. Jumoke Folorunsho, and she has been giving us real insight on how we can we can use this approach to make education better. And we are talking about how schools can actually come up with alternatives that are not so expensive to make these things happen. And you see, she has done these things practically where she has taught, and now she has left a legacy for them to follow up with. Wherever you are, whatever you have in your hands, I promise you, you can do something. That is a sure thing. It is only that you study the process, find alternatives around you that could actually give you those things that you need. And you would set up your own mini lab, your own private space without having to break the bank, yes, as they say. So, welcome back to our live show. If you're just joining us now, please, I want you to say hi in the comment section. And happy Independence Day to all of you, our viewers out there. Nigeria is 65 today, and this is our own special way of celebrating Nigeria with the recent change in the educational curriculum. Welcome to Futurefeat Live. So, Matt, you have spoken about getting simple raw materials around you and putting them together to actually help these children gain experience. And from the exam bodies that we have, like the WAEC, you have touched on how some of these questions that are more practical, children are unable to really address it as practical as they are. And that is partly because we don't have the hands-on experience in rebuilding these things or breaking them down to understand each of the components and then how they work and all of that. So I want to just digress a little and ask about the place of our parents in this. So we talked about how schools can do this. Now, from the perspective of the home, how do you think parents can create low-cost maker experiences at home with everyday objects, of course, for their kids? Because learning doesn't just end in school. Learning takes place in school and even at home. So how can we help parents understand what to do in this instance?
Okay, thank you, Temi. I want to, as you were talking, I just remembered something while I was young.
Yeah.
I remember one of the class we had, I did civics. We call it civic. Now they call it civic education. I did civics. I did history. I did social studies in my primary school.
Yeah.
I remember one of the classes that we did social studies. We talk about Nigeria, and when we entered the class, we were surprised that our social study teacher drew the map of Nigeria on the board, and she labeled, just a few parts of the states there. And then she was teaching us, she showed us the confluence, Lokoja, River Benue, River Niger. She showed us different regions that the country is divided into. And when we go home on Fridays, they normally give us a letter from the school, and assignments of all subjects are there. And then part of the assignment they gave us was to get a cardboard and draw the map of Nigeria. That was what she did. So we got home. I told my parents. My mom bought a cardboard for me. We drew map of Nigeria with my younger brothers, and then with our names, everything, we took it to school. She collected it. She marked it. You know what she did? When she came to the class, each person's cardboard, she carried a scissors and cut it into pieces. What we call today, what we call jigsaw puzzle.
Yes.
She cut it into pieces and then she told us to put it together. And she wants to know. And everybody who started struggling, Do you know that those people who drew the map of Nigeria by themselves, they were able to actually put that thing together? And those whose brothers, whose uncles, whose aunties helped them to draw it were struggling to put it together. And she said, from that class, she knew those who did it themselves, and she knew those who they drew it for. Talking about how parents should come in, I couldn't, have that jigsaw puzzle with my little boy at home. But what I did for him was, there was a time in their school they did something like Rubik's competition.
Okay.
And he got home, started disturbing me, but mommy, buy Rubik's for me, buy Rubik's for me. So we went to the market. I just picked like 3, I think 2 or 3 for him. There's a Rubik, that's when you put the picture together, is Mickey Mouse. And then there's a Rubik for another diagram I can't remember. And then I gave it to him. He was busy trying to arrange it. He got it. The first time he did it, it took him longer time. The second time, longer time. Subsequently, the brother said, it's no longer about putting it together now. He's putting it within a space of time. So parents can actually help children, to learn by doing, buying cardboards at home. I remember very vividly also CCA, that is Cultural and Creative Arts Assignments.
Yes.
During our own time, and I see my children to experience that, where they will tell them to build a mat. You will cut the cardboard, you will slice it inside, 2 cardboards, of different colors, and then you bring the other one inside and build a mat. The teacher will show the children in class demonstration, and then we ask every child to go and build a mat. And some children will come with very beautiful and fantastic ones with the help of parents. So when these assignments are given to children to do at home, I remember back in those days where clay, when you learn about clay, they will say, build a pot. Tanya, I don't know whether you experienced that.
We did.
You build a pot, you do a pot, you do a house.
Television.
That's what I just like. We were talking, from the background when I was telling you, talking about Pavlov, the theory of constructionism, constructivism, about learning by doing, all these type of things. It has been there in the curriculum. It's just that the curriculum implementers who are teachers don't have the time. And, because of this rat race that everybody, is involved with. I have some people who will not buy Ludo game for their children. They will not buy snake and ladder for their children. They will give them cardboards to actually make it. And you will see they will draw the snake, they will play it, all what you need to do. And they will pick plastics. They will pick bottle of Coke, bottle of Pepsi, bottle of Fanta to represent seed of each one. And I tell you that one of the reasons why these things are put in curriculum is to begin to build what we call a problem-solving skill in a child. To build what we call solution-providing thinking, to a child. How can we do this by ourselves? You have children, if you are not careful, they will collect. Do you know that these Rubik's that I was telling you about, before long, my son has used a knife to open it, to pieces it into different cubes. And I was like, what are you doing? He said he wants to know how they, and after some time, I saw him coupled it together. I saw him coupled it together. So parents can actually help. They are beautiful, I don't want to call them toys. They are beautiful gadgets that can help a child. In fact, there is one that you see there's water inside, and there's something like rings, and there's something like dolphins. You give children age 3, age 4, age 5, they'll begin to press the button to see how the ring will, stay at the nose of the dolphin. All these things are actually there. They are not just toys. They are there to birth, to instill, to ignite, to awaken the potential of problem solving skill. And truly, every human that is created, including animals, have an instinct to solve the problem. That is what the psychologists actually talked about. They have an instinct to solve problem. All what you need to do is to expose them to it.
Yeah.
After exposing them to it, withdraw them from it, create a barrier, and show them on the other side that what you have exposed them to is on the other side. All what they will be doing is to remove the barrier to get to what they are used to doing. And parents must start it from home.
Yes.
And then when assignments are given from school on doing, parents should be willing to make purchases of these low cost materials for children to do it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma, for that contribution. It is amazing. You just brought back a flood of childhood memories for me.
Yeah.
And I think the things that stayed with me the most were the things I used my hands to do. And that actually shaped in fact, even down to my career choice, because I realized that whatever I used my hands to do, I did well and it stayed. So I prefer to just do that than to take on anything that has to do with maybe recitation, and all of those things. But, well, today we are here to see how to bring back such and to make it stay in the best way possible so our kids can learn very well. Now, well, I want to take this time to still welcome our followers and our friends out there who are just joining. Thank you, Tosin. I can see you. You're welcome. I hope you can hear us now. Yusuf, we are happy to have you around. Oh, Kent, yes, you're also welcome too. Thank you so much for joining. Peace, yes, peace, you're welcome. We appreciate having you here. And like I said earlier, if you are here, please make sure you call your friends, you call your family members, you call people who you know should be in this room. I mean, this is like for everybody because you are either a parent, you are a teacher, a school owner, or any of in fact, even if you are not a parent directly, an uncle, you are also a parent to your niece and nephew. Yeah. So we are all involved in this process. You can call on them to join us so we enjoy this time together. We are going to move on because we don't have much time. We want you to enjoy the celebration of our independence. So we are going to just get straight and continue. So, ma'am, I want to ask, because there's this other issue that sometimes we have around, which is getting the constraints of getting some of these tools, right? And materials that they may need to take on some of these projects. So how can schools help parents, right, to like design a friendly kind of engagement that helps people from different, who are having actually different income range, and some may be able to acquire some of these things for their kids and others may not. So is there a way schools can come in to design something that will help to bring these things together? Let's say maybe, for instance, in the case of take-home mini projects, and all of that. How can the school help?
All right. As a school administrator, I always tell my teachers that whatever take-home projects you will give any child should not be capital intensive. That's very key. The reason, because the purpose of the project is not to actually build the actual thing, but to engage the students at home to put few things together. Give them projects that will not make the parents be running up and down. Just like I mentioned to you, gold leaf electroscope, for instance, the gold leaf electroscope principle is the principle behind Bluetooth, the principle behind scanning, the principle behind photocopy, the principle behind Zenda. And anything that you will ask the children to use must be something that they can actually reach out to at home.
Yes.
I mentioned to you um, Bama bottle.
Yeah.
I mentioned to you jam bottle.
Mm.
Plastic. I've mentioned Coke covers, Pepsi, Fanta, our bottle drinks, their covers, the bottles also. My cultural and creative arts educator, I love what he's doing. In fact, I normally crack joke with him. I'll tell him Mekwalaba one, of Jos.
Okay.
What he does is so amazing. Mr. Elijah Joseph, what he does in Founders High School is so amazing. Bottles of drinks. Like for instance, today is Independence Day,
Yeah.
and all our learners will be given drinks. About 200 bottles of drinks they'll be given. They know it. We have a club that we call we call it a beautification and craft club. When they are done with drinking of these bottles of products, they will gather it together in a sack. They made a dust basket with
Wow.
with it.
Wow.
You were around for our speech and prize day,
Yes.
so you saw some of his
Yes.
this thing. They make beautiful things from something that normally the normal mind will pack it and go and throw it in the dustbin. The normal mind, and then they will come with. When you see it, you wonder how what we call trashes are converted to treasure. So one of the things that educators can do is to make sure that when these assignments are given to students, it's a low cost thing. And also, one of the ways we help, to simplify this assignment for parents is to have what we call clubs
Yeah.
and society in the school. What is the purpose of clubs and society? Is to help these children to bring in their creative skills, their innovation into use. We have different clubs. We have Jets Club, we have Green Energy Club, we have Beautification Club, we have Homemakers Club.
Yes.
And what do? They look for simple raw materials to show the world what can be done with things that normal human being will pass by and don't see anything good about it. So one of the things they can do is to help parents. And when you are giving them this assignment, you will tell them they will be using so and so materials. Number one, cardboard. Number two, straw. Number three, number four, number five, and help them to put the costing.
Yes.
You help them. You say cardboard is 200 naira. They need one. Straw is 500 naira. They need a pack. You mention them. You mention gum. You will say, okay, the type of gum you need. You can even decide to say, okay, if it is super glue gum, if it is huyu gum, if it is hot gum, this is the amount. And then they can put money together. They can buy and then they share. You understand?
Yeah.
So that at the end of the day, plus or minus 500 to 1,000, as holiday projects, they'll be able to do it. But if it is take home, don't give them assignment today, what is raw materials, and tell them to submit tomorrow morning. It gets parents infuriated. Number one, everybody's settling down at home around 5:36. They'll be having their dinner, and then they will spend the whole night doing this, and they must submit the next day. So educators, schools should help parents to give them reasonable time to source for little funds that they need, and also to submit these as assignments within a reasonable space of time. By so doing, if this gets continuous about a school, it makes parents to love the school. It makes parents to see the school that they're actually sensitive to their time factor, and also to their pockets, to their sensitive to ensure that they don't overspend. And then that child you are giving assignment is not the only child at home. The others are there. To the family will eat, they will do other things. And then when you give them space, tell them ahead at the beginning of the term, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, parents. This is what we are going to do. These are the projects we are going to embark on, so subjects at so time. Please oblige us when we reach out to you and ensure your child is part of it. Thank you. And then you see everybody carry along with it. Thank you.
At this point in time, I feel like, man, it is finished, but it is not. Like I told you, there is a lot we are going to learn from our guests. And please, just in the comment section, let's put our hands together for her. I don't know. her experience, her wealth of knowledge. See, we are tapping from this freely. I mean, this is something you should pay handsomely for as a school owner, as a teacher, even as a parent, because this rubs off on all of us. And somehow she was able to answer one of my questions, which was about the friction miscommunication often causes when parents are not aware of things, especially on time. Then they just get to become angry when messages are sent. They get furious, honestly. And you wouldn't want to be on the other side when a parent is furious about such, honestly. I've been in the teaching space too for just, I mean, I would say for just a while, because compared to our guests, when I have not started anything, and I know how lack of communication has caused a lot of problems, honestly, in schools. And this is very, very important. So thank you for touching on even things that we are supposed to even ask later, but we can see now. Thank you so much, Benjamin. Thank you. Thank you, Blessing, for clapping for our guest. Yes, thank you for showing your presence here. Thank you, Aisha. We're very grateful for having you around. And yes, we are going to continue. Like I said, we don't want to take time away from the celebration, so you could go back and enjoy your time with your kids. So, leading to so from the conversation we just had, and talking about parents coming back in the evening, and all of those things. Now we have many parents who are busy with work and other family responsibilities. Can you just help us share with parents one practical habit, or like an example or something that these busy parents can start doing to support their children's learning at home, especially using the maker culture in mind?
All right. I was privileged to be part of the Makeathon for Futurefeat, and it was a wonderful experience for me. I, I was so glad to see my son, do a number of things that I never knew of. All what I need to do, all what I do each day is to drop him off and come and pick him by 2:30. And then when he comes home, he tells me a lot of things. I was very happy at the end of the program when the CEO announced that the kits are available for purchase. He has been disturbing me since then because he wants to do more on, especially on robotics. One of the things that we can do for our children as parents is number one. Number one, most parents will tell you that all this learning by doing thing, my child does not have that inclination. I'm not seeing it in him. It's not true. It's not true. I'm a Christian by the grace of God, and there's something I saw of recent that is so touching to me. I'm telling you, Tammy, in the last 6 weeks, I've been going back to it over and over again, and I want God to open my eyes to it more. Isaiah Isaiah 60, verse 9. Verse 9 said that your sons will come from afar with their silver and gold. And immediately I saw that part of the scripture, God was telling me that every child that you see has a treasure.
Yeah.
Every child you see, there's no non-entity.
Sure.
And I tell my students and founders, there's no non-entity among you.
Yes.
You have something. So number one, what is that thing? We must discover it. When you discover it as a parent, they begin to gravitate to it. Sometimes it can be very infuriating, this learning by doing thing. You see some children, they don't want to do anything again that, spoil remotes, remove the battery of your wall clock,
Yes.
and do a number of things. They want to see, and when they are doing that, the first thing they will do is, the first thing that comes to you is that they are destroying. If you have been privileged to sit in the shop of a tailor with a cloth that you bought, let's say you bought the clothes per yard is about 25,000, and then you bought like 4 yards, it's 100,000, you give a tailor, and you are sitting right there, you will give the tailor a blow. Because all what you will see them doing is cutting your material into pieces.
Yes.
And this is what maker experience is all about. Discovery. So you must discover what your child love doing. Some of them is not building things, some of them is cooking.
Yeah.
Cooking, they will turn everything around for you, and you must discover it. For boys, they want to do technological things. Your old TV, your old remote, your old clock, they want to open it up and see how it is being done, and then you see them replicating it, having what we call a prototype
Yes.
of what they have seen. You must encourage them, in doing it. So at home, apart from the routine of reading, you must give them opportunity to make.
Mm. Yeah.
Like mine, he loves to make things. Some few nights ago, at about 8:45, I saw him with his new poster color. He brought a bowl to the room. He put the brush. He wanted to start mixing and painting at 8:48. And the next day is school. The next day is school. I told him, pack those things right now and then go and keep it. Tomorrow or by Saturday, if you bring your cardboard out, you bring your bowls out, and you are painting, and I stop you, then you ask me why I should do that. But for now, what you're about to do is a very good thing, but it's at the wrong time.
That's true.
You have 12 minutes to bed, so pack it and then go and lie down. I say, put yourself under the blanket and then you sleep. So what the things we should do is to help them put things together. If it is baking, get a module of flour at home, get a yeast, and then let them learn. Tammy, I've already grown and gotten married before I started learning things on YouTube.
Wow.
The number of things I started doing from 2001 when I got married, I discovered that I will close by 2 o'clock, and then I will stay at home till the next day. I'll go to school. Let me not be leaving for my employer. I went to learn decoration. I started doing decoration. A lot of people that know me, they will testify to it. I did decoration for 16, 17 years.
Wow.
From decoration, I learned to do baking. I learned baking. The person that taught me how to bake has been residing in US about like 15 years and counting. I learned how to do baking. I started doing birthday cakes, traditional marriage cakes, then wedding cakes. I learned pastries. I was doing meat pie, donuts, chin chin, and the rest of it. I learned how to do beads. I started doing beads for brides, step beads. I learned how to do straw arts. I started making straw arts for reverend's wives, for Anglican church, Orthodox church that they don't go to church with bare head, and they don't want to wear scarf maybe on skirt suits, on gown, and the rest of it. And a number of these things, I learned it originally from my what do we call it? For those who taught me. But let me tell you, I built on that knowledge from YouTube. So the number of things our children can learn. I have more than 120 videos that I picked from Facebook, from YouTube, and I was just sending it to my cultural and creative art teacher in the middle of the night, early in the morning, in the afternoon. And then he would just say, thank you, ma, thank you. But I dosed in with it. I said, these are the things I want founders, learners to do. You were there, you saw it, how we converted tires to chairs.
Yes.
And then these things, when you make these children, do you know, one of the things to reduce them from screen time is actually learning by doing.
Exactly.
And then you see, there's time when I allow him to actually have fun, to do some things. And then there are times I will like, no, it's not about phones, it's not about screen now. Use your hand and build things. And then as parents, when we give them the time to do all of this, we begin to see, I'm telling you, we will not have a problem when they get to secondary school, SS1, and be saying, I don't know what my child wants to learn. I don't know whether he wants to be a lawyer, whether he wants to be a doctor, an engineer. I'm telling you that when you begin with them as they are growing up, you will not have any difficulty in identifying where they are going. All you need to do is just wait for them to say it, and then you support them to continue with it. I've seen parents who will come to school with their children and say, these are the things that I've seen in this child that made me to feel, being in science department, being in arts department, being in social science department would be beneficial to him. And so when you when you encourage them in all this, by the time they finish university, if they want to do 9 to 5 jobs, they will have a number of things to make and get money for themselves.
Yes.
Rather than sit at home and say, what are you doing? As I've graduated for 5-10 years now, I've not gotten the job of my dream.
Yeah.
There's no job of dreams. Even those jobs that you think it's a dream job, those who are there, they are doing something
Yes.
behind the scene
Yes.
to make money that you think they got from a 9-to-5 job. I think I've answered that question.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I mean, those that are not here are actually missing a lot. When I say a lot, I mean a lot. And we really appreciate your honesty and your passion for what you do, and how you find this very interesting, and the push you are giving to our parents and our teachers out there to actually be the best. Because I can only imagine that I'll pick up my phone that my principal has dropped me a message by 1 a.m. about something that is going to build me. It's great, and kudos to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
You are doing great. So, our viewers, our friends, we want to welcome you again and to also say Happy Independence Day. Remember, we are on Futurefeat live session. This is our second live, and we are onto the topic why the maker culture is important in improving how kids learn. Remember, the key word here is maker culture and then improving how kids learn. So we have been talking about how schools and then how parents can come in to help children to learn using these experiences. And our guests here have been doing justice to this topic and the questions that we have gathered over time from experiences of parents and their teachers alike. Now back to the school environment. What simple assessment or approach do you think teachers can adopt to evaluate these creative skills alongside written tests? Because, like we mentioned earlier, some of the fears teachers have is implementation. So, what happens to what we have existing already? Some of these systems are not in place. I mean, I'm not sure the assessment structure has been sent for evaluating the creative or practical aspect of learning. So, what simple approach do you think schools and then teachers can adopt to help evaluate this other aspect of
All
learning?
right. Permit me to make reference to my school, Founders High School Jos, which I'm privileged to be the principal, under our able managing director, Mr. Lucky Aliyu Momo. Since the inception of Founders High School Jos in 2023, assessment for maker culture experience has not been a problem for us. So I will not tell you what we are doing presently, but let me make reference to what we have done in the last 2 years.
Yes.
Talking about assessments. In year one, our focus was self-leadership first. You cannot lead someone without leading yourself. So under the self-leadership first, we talk about self-awareness. And part of what we did on self-awareness is that all our girls learn how to make hair. And our boys learn how to barb hair. In Founders High School, every boy or everyone who has a low cut, they have a wireless clipper.
Wow.
And then we have staff members who took their time for 1 year. They taught every child. Though we have some boys that the parents said they should learn hair making. And we did braids. We did all manner of braids, loose braids, tight braids. We did twists. And then they learned how to, they made wigs.
Wow.
They made caps. And it's practical based. Before we start the session, we have a scheme, what we want to achieve. They learned about clippers, how to use them. They learn about hairstyle that fits types of head. At least all my learners, when they go to barbing salon, they can tell the barber the hairstyle that fits their hair. It's not all hairstyle that fits hair. We have plump hair, we have long face, we have broad face,
Right.
you know.
Yes.
And then they learn how to barb. And they were barbing them. In fact, we made videos of it and sent it to parents on their WhatsApp. You know, they were barbing themselves. And when it is time to evaluate, to assess them. Now, why do we actually talk about maker culture? We want to develop certain skills. We call them in-demand skills. World Economic Forum talked about in-demand skills for 2025. Problem solving, creative thinking, critical thinking, originality, confidence, and then critical thinking and the rest of it. So when it was time for an exam, they were made to barb themselves. So by the assessment, when the first person comes, the person assessing will ask, what type of head is this?
Okay.
Tell me 3 or 4 types of haircuts that fits the head. And then you barb any of them. It's like a viva.
Wow.
And then you see them. When they are barbing, they look at their speed.
Yes.
They've taught them how to barb. They've taught them how to barb, following design in the center of the head. Many times during the barbing session, I'm there. I was there to see what they are doing. And then there's a way to do barbing. It's to alter the originality of how God creates the way hair grow on their head. And then when they look at it, look at your confidence, they look at your focus, they look at the final thing they're looking at the hairstyle. And then the final one is the assessment of the person that you have delivered the service to. You look at yourself in the mirror and score the person because that's the way every customer will evaluate the service provider. And then the person they barb will finally give the final score that caps it up. So depending on what you want to learn. For the girls, if you were, when I entered the hall where they were doing the training, they were giving wool, they were giving the attachments.
Yes.
And, they made ropes on walls, and then they drop the attachments there. And then you will make like 3 or 4 loose braids, tight braid, twists, and then you do freelance design. And then they look at their speed, their hand, their movements. Talking about psychomotor skills.
Yes.
Because it's all about skills. And then they score them. And I'm telling you, those practical exams, they normally do it a week before the main exam starts. Those practical exams is what fills their 30%. We have 70% examination and we have 30% continuous assessment. Those were in our year 2, in our second year, we worked on leather generally.
Wow.
So what they did was they learned about different types of leather, what leathers are used for, leathers for bags, leathers for shoes, leathers for furniture. After learning it, they went into making of palms, making of sandals, making of slippers. Very, very big, the measurement and everything. Yeah. And then from there, they learned about bag making. They did tote bags. They did tote bags. They did paws and everything. Now, during the exam, they cannot make those shoes they made with presence of experts to teach them. They taught them how to file shoes, how to make soles and the rest of it. With the presence of experts during the exam, now they did not make the real shoe now. They now made what we call prototypes.
Yes.
They made prototypes, and then every child was given a small leather cut into pieces. They gave them all the materials. They have all the gums, they have all the scissors, and they were asked to make a prototype of palms. That prototype they made, we had over 100 of it. And then we attached, at the end of the day, we attached key holder to it. Yeah. Every key in my school that opened all the offices.
Yes.
We put the prototype palms on it. The children, when they see, they're happy. Yeah. They are the one that created key holders.
Yes.
As prototypes. They were the one that created it. And then during our open day, parents came and bought the shoes, bought the bags. Wow. And then we have a savings. The managing director said, we should keep the money. Then whatever we want to do, we'll plow it back again into vocational skills. Right. Yes. And that is what we are applying back in third year. They are happy. And I told their parents when they came for open day, I said, please parents, look at the products that these students and help them to buy it. Because if we teach them learning by doing, if they make things and they did not see the end product of it being sold, then they'll believe that there's nothing about entrepreneurial skills, then nothing about. And thank you, parents of Founders High School. They bought shoes, they bought slippers, they bought palms, they bought bags,
Awesome.
and then the money is what we are plowing in our year 3 for certain things that I said I will not tell you until when we are done.
That's fine. Yes,
Yeah.
that secret ingredient. That's a great one. I want to believe that we all that are on this live are actually gaining like great knowledge. So please, if you could just share in the comment section one or two things that you have picked from our discussion so far, just anything at all that you have as a take home for you, just drop it in the comment section, please. Let's all see it. And once again, thank you for joining us today on our Futurefeat live stream, talking about why maker culture is important in improving how kids learn. Yes, we are almost wrapping up our discussion, so let's just get straight to it. Like I said, we wouldn't want to take all of your time. We want us all to go and celebrate Nigeria today in our own special ways. And I want to believe maybe after this, some of us will just get something to do with our kids at home, some hands-on maker session for our kids, just to have time with them and enjoy the day. So, so some of these questions that I have, like I said, you have been able to answer quite a number of them from the other questions that I asked. And you touched on one very important point that we want to discuss here, which is the new national curriculum and its emphasis on practical skills and life readiness. Now, from your perspective, what immediate change would help bring that policy into classrooms here in Jos and then in Nigeria generally? But let's start from home. Yeah, what are those things? Because I know that some things may differ based on location. So in Jos, what are those things, those immediate change that we could use to bring the policy into life?
All right, let me add up to it that there's nothing so new about the curriculum.
Mm,
The only thing that I see there that is new is stepping it down to the junior school.
yeah.
When the National Education Research, we call them NADEC, Development Council, when they upgraded the scheme for the senior school, where it is now examinable, there are certain trade courses that were introduced: horticulture, garment making,
Yeah.
fashion designing, and a lot more, fisheries, animal husbandry, and a lot more. Both exam bodies, WAEC and NECO, have been assessing students in this area. And one of the things that I love that they emphasize in the curriculum is that it is not discipline based.
Yeah.
So a science student may not necessarily choose trade courses that is science inclined.
Yes.
A science student can actually pick a discipline that is way off science. In fact, I have one of my students, she's in a 500 level, 600 level now, final year in medicine in Bingham University. While she was in SS1 to 3, she did garment making.
Hmm.
As I speak now, she's about to be inducted as a medical doctor, and her parents bought a beautiful machine for her
Wow.
on her graduation. Even though she's very busy with her clinicals, she still had time to sew clothes for herself. I have one also who has graduated. She did her final exam some weeks back. Her parents put her in a garment making shop, and some of the clothes she wear to church on Sunday, she actually sewed it by herself.
Wow.
And she's going to be a barrister. So it's not about trade course, it's not about what a child really wants to study or what a child is studying. It's something to make a child to have an adventure in different aspects. There's a powerful man in Lagos presently who is a medical doctor and is a cake boss. He's a popular man, a medical doctor and a cake boss. You can look at the two sides of it. It's not looking coherent.
Yeah.
So what the only difference in this curriculum is that they are stepping it down to the junior school.
Okay.
They don't want them to be in SS1 to 3 before they learn this. They want it to start learning from GS1 to 3. Electrical installation, solar installation, GSM and phone repairs,
Yes.
basic things that one of my students who graduated in 2011 is currently in Ireland. He studied electrical engineering in Nigeria here before he traveled.
Okay.
There was a time when he was in 300 level in Covenant University. The father bought a car, and the car he has just spent 2 weeks. And one of those times that he came back from school, the father was having problem in what do you call it, in starting the car. Being a new car, he was trying to get across. The car was shipped in from Germany. He was trying to get across to the company to know what the problem is.
Yeah.
And he has been finding it difficult to, he sent a mail to them, but they've not responded. So when this my student came back from school, who was a student of electrical engineering, the father told him, Daddy, congratulations. He said, this car, since they brought it, I've not really had time to really master the use. In fact, presently, when I switch on the ignition, it will make sound, it's not moving, and the rest of it. All what he did was to enter the car, and then he went to the company site. He just typed the problem of the car. And then before you knew it, everything that led to why the car was doing that, a brand new, Nigeria, we call it tear rubber.
Yeah.
He just sat in the car, and then he said, Daddy, where's the key? He collected the key. He just went, opened the bonnet. He touched the areas that he was directed to touch. And then he entered the car, then on it. And then Daddy opened the gate. He just reversed it and brought it out, and then left it warming. The father was looking at him. And the father is an engineer in the 80s.
Wow, yeah.
And he was like, so what is the problem of the guy? He said, Daddy, give me money. When you give me money, I'll tell
Yes.
you know what it is. The father, when he was talking to me, he said, before people used to laugh at me that I'm spending so much money in educating these children. Now I know that I'm not spending money. I'm actually doing, the right thing. Because if any mechanic has come to my compound and said I should pay 200,000 after this car, I will have paid because I never knew what was wrong with it. That makes the difference in that generation. This generation, all that they need is to be shown the way.
True.
And be left to explore with what we call, and permit me to use it, when you are watching something on African Magic, they will say PG.
Yeah.
So I'll call it EG, with an educator guardian. The educator can be parents,
Yes.
can be mentor or anything, and then you guide them. Because there's this aspect of maker culture that can be very dangerous, especially the aspect of exploring your curiosity.
That's right.
I always say the first professor of chemistry, Marie Curie, she's one that helped us to discover radiology, radiography, X-ray, scanning, and everything. But she was not alive to see how the discovery of radioactivity evolved into technology, because she, permit me to say, crudely wanted to discover the power of radioactivity. And by the time she discovered it, she became the first victim of side effects of it. So as they are trying to explore, we need to be there to guide them, to say, don't touch that one, don't do this one. Then they will ask you, before their curious mind, they will want to know why. And then you guide them so that in the advent of trying to explore, they will not do things that will harm them. Like I always tell my little boy, anytime I see him trying to maneuver on a battery, a dry cell, I will say, there's something in that thing you are holding that is very dangerous.
Yeah.
If you put your hands in your mouth, you will be poisoned. And there was a time I had to download something on YouTube for him to come and watch. And then he saw how the battery was open, because you always see him wanting to use a knife to break it open. And then manganese oxide and other things that are inside, the components are dangerous. They are just substances that when they are infused or ingested, can be a problem to him. So I have to be there. And then he was some other time I saw him, he told me to get a gloves for him. I saw him wearing gloves, and he still want to continue what he's doing. Do you understand? So for our kids, while they're at home trying to explore, you have to tell them. And I always tell him, especially when I'm cooking in the kitchen, when I'm by the gas, I taught him how to put on and put off the gas. And I said, see, when you want to do this to the cylinder, if the other camp gas is on, don't do it.
Yes.
Because there's a flammable inside the kitchen, it could happen. So while they are trying to learn by doing, we should be able to guide them. This curriculum coming up very soon is a beautiful one. My problem and my question is, are we ready as a nation to provide what we call the maker space for them? At Founders High School, when I saw the curriculum, I said, it's welcome, but it's not a new thing in our school environment, because from the startup of the school in 2023, all these new things they are bringing in is what we started with, just to ensure that our learners are engaged by doing. Something happened last week when we resumed our first day of resumption. Having done orientation, the first thing we did as a school community was what we called class beautification. So what we did was to go to the market and buy sugar, paper, cardboards, beautiful, glossy, this fluorescent materials.
Yes.
And then by 12 noon, everybody in the class started doing decoration. I tell you, when I entered the classroom by Tuesday, Wednesday, a day or two after, what I saw was amazing. Amazing. In fact, there's a particular class I entered. They all they have this cardboard, like love, and they put it at the corner of the class, and they put their family name. Like you are Nuhu.
Wow.
You are Tamina Nuhu. They will say Nuhu family.
Wow.
Folorunsho family.
That's
This family, everybody, family.
Yes.
And I asked them, I said, do you know what is amazing about your decoration in the class? They said no. I said, for the fact that you did put your name, you put your family name. What does that mean? As you sit in this class, as you learn in this school, remember that you are carrying your family name. And that family name you carry, you must protect it by all means. I must not send for your parents.
Yes.
That you have defamed the name of the family.
Yes.
By one. So every time you enter this class, look at that corner and always remember that you you represent your family. I'm telling you, if I had to sit down as a school administrator and design what each class will decorate, I would never think about this. And you see, it is coming from them. It's amazing to allow these children to, and this can only happen when you allow them to have a free flow communication.
Yes.
You allow them, you want to do any project in the school, allow their voice to count. And whatever you bring them in to do with you. So what I'm advising, what I'm telling, starting schools in Jos is whatever we are doing in these trade courses, we should allow their input also to also be there. For the first time, when we did our, summer school in Founders High School, we had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for rigorous, learning of subject contents. And on Thursday is entrepreneur. We had entrepreneur in creation and beautification. We beads making. They did bands, they did necklaces and other things. And then we had pastries section. And then they learned beautiful things. They learned donuts, meat pie, cake. They cooked fried rice. They served food they cut pineapple and make pineapple to be a plate, and very beautiful things. And then we have graphic designs. And it was a wow. When I went there to see what the children are doing, and thanks to parents that allowed those in graphic design to come to school with their laptops.
Yeah.
It was so beautiful. And what we wanted to do was just to sample a prototype of what we want to do in the new session. And I'm telling you, it's an amazing experience. Schools in Jos, either the curriculum is starting by next session or now, let's begin to introduce it gradually. So by the time it's time to step on the launch pad, we have done a lot of assignments, and then when we start, it's going to be a free ride for each and every one of us as a school community. Thank you, Tamina.
Thank you so much, man. We really appreciate that. Like I said, you cannot joke with the knowledge you have gotten from here. If you are here with us and you are a teacher, you are a school owner, please just pick these lessons and run with them. I can see some of us have dropped our contributions, unlocking the inner problems, solving skills necessary for societal development. That is what Benjamin has taken from this. The maker culture involves opening the mind in a child. Yes, very, very important. we use maker culture to open the minds of our children to great things that we may limit if we are left to decide on some things. But we won't forget the aspect of guidance. And we also have Blessing, who says, I've learned that every child has the ability to be creative. I mean, they come in loaded. God said he took his time to knit us from our mother's womb. So just know that every child is loaded. Allow them to explore those things, and then let's see what they can do from there. And okay, yeah, we have one from Dom Kinan who says, one thing I heard as a take home is the fact that learners and creators should not only learn the art of making or creating, but also learning to sell is the crown of it all. I mean, we heard a story from our guests. It is something that helps to build the children's confidence and even gives them the drive to want to think more towards solving problems, because they know that at the end of the day, somebody is going to come and pay for these products that they have made. So let's keep encouraging our children, let's keep encouraging our teachers out there, let's keep encouraging our schools, and don't ever feel like, oh, you don't have something to contribute. Yes, I'm just a parent. I didn't back an educational degree, so there's no need. I don't know what's going on or what I can do. My dear parents, we can do a lot. Talk to your school, put in your best to see that, yes, you understand what they are doing in school, and ask how you can come in as a parent to be able to support what they do in school at home. Yes, we know that time is of constraint. Some of us, we can do the best we can at the time we can. So please, some of us have kids who go through extracurricular activities, lessons in school. I mean, you can decide to say, oh, my own lesson is not going to be for the content they have in class. It could be for something that has to make impact in creating things with their hands. That is perfect. It is a way to go. And where else can you go to get such? Futurefeat. I mean, at Futurefeat, we are already set. We have materials, we have tools, we have kits, especially for parents who are unable to access these kits on their own. Yes, we know that society has a big role to play in helping shape our learners and our children to become great, to become who they are meant to be in the future. So our own contribution as Futurefeat is creating that maker space to help these children come and explore. Don't worry, we do not tell them, oh no, don't touch this, don't open this. I mean, they are here to open, they are at Futurefeat to break and to couple together. I know your TVs are precious, your remote is precious, your phone. I mean, your refrigerators are precious. You don't want to see a child touching anything, picking up screws here and there. But please bring them to Futurefeat. It is just the space for that. They can open up on Saturdays. We have our Makerspace Creators Club every Saturday, where they can come and those ideas they had during classes in those their science subjects, they can actually come and explore them at Futurefeat every Saturday. We also hold camps during holidays, and then you can actually inquire from us at any point in time. You can follow our page, please, on Facebook, on Instagram. We are Futurefeat on Facebook. We are Futurefeat Lab on Instagram. On Twitter, we are Futurefeat also. Please, you can just follow our socials, and then we'll keep you updated with all of the programs we have. And yes, we have programs for your kids who leave the secondary school, who are waiting for admission. Please feel free to reach out to us. We have the Gap Year program, and that nurtures their minds. You know, a lot of times children just move from secondary school, they just go to the university, not understanding what they are there for or what they can make out of their experiences there. I tell you that our Gap Year program is rich to actually help you get the experience they need to go to school and enjoy the school. And in fact, they start creating products before they finish. I mean, many of us did not have the opportunity. We finished school before we started to learn the things that are going to make impact in the world and then impact our lives. Our guest here actually spoke to us about how she was able to learn after a certain time in her life. After she married, that was when she started to pick up videos, and lessons here and there. I mean, they don't have to wait for that. Like we say, we are in Gen AI, right? This is not Gen Z again, this is Gen AI. People are making awesome stuff. And so we acknowledge that, and we want you to know that Futurefeat is a safe space for your child to come and explore all of these things. I mean, we have a little first aid kit for instances where you feel, oh, my child may get hurt and all of that. Please, all of those things are taken care of with awesome teachers to actually guide them. We don't teach, we guide them through exploring these things. Yes, I can see somebody just joined and we are rounding up. You're welcome, Comfort. Thank you for having me around. You can actually go back and watch this session. So please just feel free to still come back and rewatch. And we want to say a huge thank you for our guests, Mrs. Folorunsho. We love to have you here. I mean, we look forward to having you around again because we know that the time is quite short, and we would love to see more of you and to hear from you. So please, if you are here, join our community. And so before we go, I just want to ask, can you just have maybe 3 words to describe a healthy homeschool relationship that supports making? If you would come up with 3 words, ma'am, what would they be?
All right. If I could come up with 3 words that will support a healthy homeschool relationship, I would say communication.
Thank you.
Is very key. Communication between parents and school about the maker culture system that will be kicked off. I would have loved it to be kicked off at home first before the school.
Great.
And then number 2, I will talk about having communicated, then creativity. Creativity. Certain times, when my son is giving assignments, I will say, how did they say you should do it? They didn't tell us any particular way, but they just asked us to do it. And then go back and tell me, Mommy, my own assignment, the one I built is the finest. I say, why? Because the teacher said they did not tell us what to do, but I did it. I said, did you tell him that it's your mother that suggested that? So creativity, even the assignments they are giving, is very key. Following the instruction and being creative about what they ask them to do. And then the third one is consistency. Is very key. Consistency, because sometimes parents lose interest in what school wants them to do concerning their children. So whatever we have decided to do for our children, by taking them to a school that we have chosen, and if we've chosen that school for a reason, then whatever is coming up from that school, asking for our support in assisting that as stakeholders, these holistic development of these children are put in place. We should be consistent about supporting this school. Thank you, Tanya.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We really appreciate you. And to all of our guests out there, our friends who joined this live, I want to say a big thank you.
Tamina,
we really love this. And please, go and write it somewhere. You see, she said communication, creativity, and consistency. I mean, for we that are here, those of us out there doing one thing or the other, we know that these things are 3 things that stand in every aspect of your life. So please just go and write it down somewhere. In fact, go and post it on your status today. Communication, creativity, and consistency. Thank you so much. I remain myself, Tammy Mianuhu, for Futurefeat. Yes, community manager of Futurefeat. And please don't forget to follow us on all our socials. Like our page, follow our page, and then you get to see great updates. Yes, ma'am. Any final words for us?
All right, final word. So let's answer the question, which is the theme of today's live stream. Why the maker culture is important for your kid. It is important for your kid because you are going to what we call excite the child's potential. That means you develop the skill that the child came up with. Number 2, we say when you allow your child to experience the maker culture as a child growing up, it will show the path that the child is taking in the future. And then finally, it will make the child a problem solver, a creator more than a consumer, and you will enjoy it. Let me say one thing. When these money wallets, when they started coming in, the OPay, the money
Yes.
point, I asked myself, I said before now, everybody would think that everything about finances is banking.
Yeah.
I was in one of the banking sector just a few days ago. I spent just 12 minutes. The place was like almost empty. As that, you know what it means when going to bank, it's already a threat to you when you're going to bank, because you don't, when somebody say you want to go to the bank, so when are you coming back, you say I don't know the time, because you don't know how long you're going to stay here. And some people sat in their little corner and created something amazing, like OPay, like money point, where you will send, if you want to be sure whether you sent money, if somebody, you send money to somebody, the person did not see the receipt, you sent the receipt, and somebody sat down and created this. I'm telling you, eyes have not seen, ears have not heard.
Yes.
It has not come to the heart of man.
Yeah.
What God has prepared for those who love Him. There are great and amazing things that is going to happen in recent years coming in, and let's key into it and see how our children break the roof with great and mighty things that God will put in their lives. Thank you, Tamina.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And I want to send a special shout out to our guests who joined from the very beginning up until this time. We see you, we appreciate you, we love you so much. We're very grateful. Thank you, Tosin. Thank you, Yusuf. Thank you, Kent. Thank you, Peace. Thank you, Domkinan. Blessing. Thank you so much. Daramola, thank you so much. Aisha, we are very grateful. Thank you, Benjamin. Thank you so much. Yes, and we have Comfort. Thank you so much. Yes, she said the three C's. Yes, that's what we call communication, creativity, and consistency. Yes, once again, thank you for joining us live on our stream Futurefeat. Why the maker culture is important in improving how kids learn. See you again in our next live. Please don't forget, just turn on notification for us. I mean, awesome things are coming. And yes, you can see our shirts. I know it's pretty. If you want, you can have one for yourself. Just ask and you shall receive. Thank you. It was an awesome time with you all. I wish us all a happy independence, and let's enjoy our day as we celebrate Nigeria at 65. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah.